Hi, I'm Brian Whitaker at Wits End Ranch, and I got a quick little tip here about haltering your horse. I talked in another video about catching your horse and how that sets the tone and the stage for not only just what you're about to do with your horse that day, but the future. And one thing I see a lot with people is the inconsistency and the just the roughness that they might catch their horse. And I always think if you start a certain way, but you want, and it's not very consistent, it's not very smooth, it's probably not going to be very consistent or smooth when you get on them. In fact, it won't be. So properly halter my horse. I like to reach over the top, and if your horse's head's way high, that's the first thing you got to get established, is teach them that they can put their head down. Not only are they physically putting it down, but you'll find that it starts to relax them a little bit. And then I'll just gently bring them towards me. I'm going to go underneath, right under here. Now I have my halter in two hands, and you see already that tilt towards the left, towards me. He's saying, let me help you. So right there, I'm teaching my horse that they can actually help me. You know, some horses are just a neutral, some will fight you, but believe it or not, they'll actually help you for whatever you're going to do. So that sets the stage, it sets the tone of, hey, human, I can help you if you just let me. And a lot of this sometimes is just giving them the opportunity. If I had a horse that wouldn't, I would just take my fingertips without much pressure and just gently guide their cheek towards me. I'll just wait, put a little pressure here, release as soon as he gives it to me. That sets the stage now for when I ride them. It'll be real familiar. I might not have fingertips on their jaw, but it'll be real similar to whatever's in their mouth. So now, some common things I see when people halter their horses, they don't really have a plan. They're not ready. So whether this horse is in a 60-foot round pen, a small stall, or out in the middle of a pasture, you should be ready. Whatever your halter and lead rope is, when you go up to a horse, you should be ready so that even if they're looking away and you start getting here, my horse is ready. If I'm not ready, he's going to start tuning me out and figure, you're not ready. See, so if I'm not ready for that, I'll miss that opportunity, and that goes through whatever you're doing. Some common things I see, this one's always a good one, is they go straight up to the horse and go like this. Okay, that kind of rubs them all over. Now he's going to stand here. It's not very smooth, and this is kind of not the best end to do this, right? I mean, he's going to stand here, but as you see it, he draws their head up. And I don't want to do that. Whether you're 6'3" like me or shorter, I don't want the horse's head high. See, already he's putting his head down here. So you could call this like a pre-signal. Just see me simply putting my hand here, and I'll just gently rock his neck back and forth to say, you can go ahead and kind of drop your head a little bit. And if it takes a little longer to get it done, we'll take a little longer. Come underneath. This piece is in my right hand, this is my left, and now I pretty much, so if I have a horse that's a little bit nervous about getting caught, I pretty much have them gathered. Doesn't mean they won't run off, but I pretty much, if they took off and go to the right, I can gently bring them this way and step back. This is a better fashion of doing that. He's going to help me a little bit, so I'll angle this halter here so it goes on the best way. And just like that, I shouldn't have to fidget around or mess with it too much. And on it goes. So now having this willingness, softness with your horse doesn't just pertain to haltering like I mentioned. It also is just a frame of mind they get into, but also it's helpful for the next thing I'm going to do with him, and that would be to put a bridle of some sort on. So I shouldn't have to feel like as soon as I drop my halter that I've got to, put the death grip on my horse because I'm afraid he's going to take off. So if I have this mindset of not only when I put the halter on, but when I take it off, you bend your neck around, there's a nice lick and a sigh. Now just, all's your job now, horse, is just wait right here. So if I had a bridle right now, not only am I not just worried about my horse taking off, he's helping me. So again, if I had to rehalter underneath, see if I can't just kind of direct his nose into this, Maybe my arms aren't working as good today, so he's going to have to help me a little bit. Your horses will help you a lot more than you realize if you just work with them a little bit and give them an opportunity. So when I take the halter off, wherever it is, stall, a pen, a big pasture, I pretty much take my halter off in the same process as I put it on. And that's important to me because I don't want to be at a disadvantage, and I also want my horse to understand, okay, halter's off, you're free to go, you can do what you want. So what I like to do, same way I put it on, their head down and in towards me, not their leg on top of me or the shoulder, their head, they're bending through the neck, bending through the pole, which is good for them anyway. Take this off. Now here's the real key part, is if you can, some horses are really good about this, take it off the noseband and just keep your horse here, okay? Try not to let him go, and that's why putting the halter on and off in this fashion is helpful, because I still have and I've been able to do this many times with horses that have a bad habit of taking off as soon as you take the halter off, because pretty soon it's not just when you take it off, it's as you undo it, and they can knock you down, they can pull you over, they can turn, if they're feeling good, and kick at you. It's just something that's not necessary. So I'll put it here, bring him in a little bit, and I might pet him a little bit, and then I'll walk away, signaling you're free to go. Most of the time when I do that in a pasture type setting, they'll follow me because they're just in that mode of relaxation and understanding. Thank you. So my next assistant here is Dee. Dee's about 10 years younger than Sawyer, so she hasn't had the halter on near as much as Sawyer, but still plenty of times. And it'll be the same principle of whatever the age they are. If they're younger, I might not ask them to bend so much at first. I'll give them time to figure out what it is I'm wanting from them, but it shouldn't take very long at all within a couple of weeks at working at it that they start helping you to put the halter on. And as I explained before, when you put the halter on, face them, it's a missed opportunity, which happens a lot with horsemanship if it's not real correct, is if I put it on like this, he really doesn't have much opportunity to help me. He's pretty much got to almost push against me, and I don't want my horses to teach that when I'm ever doing something that they push against. So I'm missing out on an opportunity. I'm not saving time. It takes longer to do it like that because I don't care who you are or what you do. I don't know how you get the halter on from that position. This is the more traditional position, to me the correct position to halter and to bridle. So this they're real familiar with. That's not to say you couldn't halter if you had to from the right side, but it's just less wasted motion too, putting it on here. And now this way, like I said before, he can help me. So now we're going to try this with Dee. Just a different horse. It's the only reason. That's no problem. She found a little hay. No worries. Sawyer is a little more stoic. He's just going to wait for me. Now again, this is the same principle. I'm not even going to dream about catching her right now because she's not even with me. And you'll see Sawyer have more focus on me than Dee right now, and that's okay. That'll come. So she's just kind of meandering around looking at old grass. That's no problem. I'll just get behind her like I'm gonna hook up a plow. From here I'll just drive her forward. I won't get any more forward because I don't care to get kicked. Not saying she'd be maliciously kicking me, but it's just a good position to stay back. Stay back further than the hind leg will reach. And she's going to be obviously automatically drawn to Sawyer. Now I'm going to allow her to go to the right by stepping to my left and then driving her off. Now if she wants to turn and face me, no problem. So I'm just going to ease up there because she might have thought about facing me. Dee was bred and born on the ranch here. And she's about 10 years younger than Sawyer, so she probably has several thousand less halterings than Sawyer, but it's okay. It's going to be all the same. Might be a little bit different about this haltering than him, but it's just about remaining consistent. And she's curious by nature, and that's good, so I can use that curiosity. And there, she like there for a moment, she was ready. But I'm not going to rush it, because if I rush it, and there she goes. See, just taking that moment is so important. If I would have rushed it, you know, they have whiskers down here, they're sensitive. Now, before I go any further, I'll just say, oh, stay to the left here. Just bend at the pole. And I just don't want to rough up or scuff up her nose here. It's a really sensitive area. It's tough, but it's also very sensitive. So I don't want that halter to scrape her. So if I'm in a hurry and she gives it to me for a moment, and as I go to bring the halter up, she goes away, she'll remember that for the next time. And I want it to be a good experience, so that now when I bridle her, she'll remember this experience, and we'll just keep continuing these good experiences. So again, the same thing. Take the halter off. And sometimes all it is just a matter of waiting. There, I just wait a little bit. There. And she's kind of like this. She likes to nose in and look at things, and that's okay to a certain extent. If she got, you know, too much in my face, I would just ask her to move away because I can't see. So there, that would simulate me letting her loose. She's not going to go anywhere. She's very curious, and I'm going to use this curiosity here. So again, I've just got my hand just slightly fingertips directing her up and over, just like that. And at first it feels like they're maybe not going to do it at all. There's a good help. And truthfully, I wasn't sure, like when I went out in the pasture to halter her, I had to get, it took a little more time to get her this way, but just giving them that moment, allowing them to think things through and know that I'm not going to push this down you and allow you to think, makes things the next time generally better. So I hope that helps a little bit on haltering. Thank you to Sawyer and Dee, and thank you for watching.